Hey everybody, John Rankin here, fighting preacher. Just hopping in my car after having a great meeting. Today I want to talk to you about the couple of apps that have saved me, I couldn't even tell you how much money. And then I'm going to talk about one app that saved me money through saving me time, okay? So the first app I want to tell you guys about is Skyscanner. If you have not heard of this app, you need to download it right as we're talking. Skyscanner is an app that searches all kinds of different, basically activity for flights. You can literally look at tickets versus the month versus the year, and you can find when the cheapest time of the year to fly to wherever you want to go is. Okay, so as an example, Skyscanner will let you. I'm close to Nashville, so we'll just use Nashville. I know some of you ain't. Hey Robert. Hey Patrick. Randy, man, how you doing? So I'm going to fly from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm going to fly to Dublin, right? Because I won the Ireland trip. Yeah, I forget we're in the South. And what Skyscanner will allow me to do is to look at the entire year and find out when the cheapest tickets are. Now, that in and of itself is pretty cool. But what Skyscanner will also let me do is I can go to hey, Terry, how are you? Eric, love it. You guys keep pouring in here. What Skyscanner will let me do is it will also let me add all nearby airports. So now instead of Nashville, I can also look at Memphis. I can look at St. Louis. I can look at Knoxville, let's say. Right, we're going to Ireland together, Robert. That's exactly right. So Skyscanner allows me to search for the cheapest tickets all around, based on time frame, and it also lets me search around nearby airports. Okay, so what ends up happening with this app is that if you're not if your travel time is not dictated to you and you have the freedom, and yeah, Skyscanner, not scammer, scanner. Hey Jeremy, how are you? So Skyscanner lets you not only determine when you want to fly based on when's the most affordable time, but what airport you're going to fly out of. Now, this is an important thing that I like using the app more than I do the website, only for this reason. Because airlines have cookies associated with your trips. And so if they see 500 people from Nashville, Tennessee looking for flights to Dublin, what do you think is going to happen to that ticket price? It's going to go up. That's, so always clear your cookies, always make sure that you guys, do those kind of things and take care of that so that they're not raising the prices on you just because of your cookie history. Okay? Now, so that first app is Skyscanner. Go ahead and download it. I'm telling you, you're going to save money with it. And you can appropriately plan just on that one app. The second app that I like to use is Mobile Passport. Now, that one doesn't save you money unless time is money. And time is money for me. And let me tell you about this app. Mobile Passport allows you to upload your passport into the app. It's secured. Hey, John. It's secured. And what you do is you get to bypass all the stuff that everybody else has to wait in line for. Literally, the last time I went and I used this app, I was in and out of customs, in and out of the passport place, I think 10 minutes. There were people that were upset because I got to go to the front of the line, a special line, just for that app. Okay? Mobile Passport. Now, listen, if you don't have a real phone and you're still operating on a Droid or an Android or whatever those things are called, that app might not be available for you. But for all of y'all who have a real phone, an iPhone, that app is on there. And the amount of time that it will save you is worth it. It's a free app too. It doesn't cost anything. Now, the next app that I love to use is Hopper. Hopper is a lot like Skyscanner, but Hopper will do alerts. It's going to alert you to airfare to Ireland or airfare to the Bahamas. I got a ticket off there that was so incredibly, low, I couldn't even believe it, right? So what you want to do with Hopper is, and I've kind of switched. I still use Hopper a little bit. I'm more using Skyscanner now, but Hopper's now doing hotels. So I've kind of put it back in my repertoire because what it does is now it's searching hotels and things of that nature. So Hopper is very much like Skyscanner. It's going to show you when the most expensive time to fly is, when the cheapest time to fly is, and now it's doing hotels. And if you guys remember yesterday, I talked about this idea of peak time versus off-peak time for traveling. That's a super important concept for you to get a hold of. Because if the peak season for Ireland is June, July, August, let's say, I don't want to fly there in June, July, August because there's going to be a ton of Americans there, which I don't travel out of the country to go hang out with a bunch of Americans. I travel out of the country to meet other people and to experience their way of life and their thought process, right? And then all the lines and the traffic and all that stuff. I don't want that stuff. That's not what I'm there for. So between Hopper and Skyscanner, it's really going to let you kind of gauge what the prices are going to be all over the place. Now, this next app is probably my favorite app of all time for travel. It's called Road Trippers. It will let you plan the entire trip on it. It's going to show you activities, Tim. It's going to show you all the activities in the local area. It's going to show you events. It's going to show you historical stuff. So I took my kids to Mount Rushmore. I planned that entire trip on Road Trippers. It's got a GPS in it. It recommends places. It shows recommendations. So we went to one place and on the ratings, it wasn't that great of ratings. And it told you exactly how much it was going to cost. And so it allowed me to look at it and go, man, is that really worth it? I got to read the reviews, and that's all housed inside of that app, and they have a website feature as well. They've got pictures on there. Again, and I'm going to do this later on. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do a whole live segment on the idea of being a tourist in your own area or in your own region. Like we're in Clarksville, Tennessee. There's so much to do around here. There's so many awesome things, both historically, Civil War stuff, waterfalls, hiking, aquariums, Gatlinburg. I mean, that list just goes on and on and on and on. And Road Trippers, you can literally go anywhere in the world, turn that thing on, and it's going to give you some of the best feedback I've ever seen. Think about TripAdvisors with the GPS and with local kind of recommendations. It's similar to TripAdvisor, but it does more than just the travel component. It does restaurants, where you can get the favorite cuisine, what's got the best place to eat. I mean, it's got everything, natural parks, events. I mean, it's got everything. I really want you to understand that Road Trippers is probably one of my favorite apps of all time. Okay? Now, some of the other apps that I use that are helping me a little bit, and I don't think I have to tell any of you guys this, but let's just be honest, some people still haven't caught up to the 21st century. But Uber, I never take taxis anymore. They're more expensive. Uber's the way to go. I use Airbnb a lot because if I'm out exploring or if I'm not doing a government contract or whatever, I want to use a hotel when I do government stuff because the receipt system and etc. But if I'm out traveling on my own, I would prefer an Airbnb. The great thing about Airbnb, guys, is that you get to save money on cooking, right? So if you go to a hotel, unless it's like an extended stay or something, you're talking that you're going to have to spend, I don't know, an extra couple of $100 at least eating out. Whereas if you do an Airbnb, you could literally buy everything you need, cook at home, cook in the morning, cook at night, and you can save the money that you would be spending eating out, but now you can spend that on some other activity or something else that you wanted to do while you were in that area. I still have a lot of the apps for the particular airlines, and I'm going to do some more research on this because I'm not 100% sure that I agree with it. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm not sure I agree yet. I've had a couple of people that travel quite frequently tell me that you're just better off picking one airline, flying that airline all the time because of points. And, they could be right. I'm not going to say that they're wrong, but here's what I've noticed. Airlines are charging an astronomical amount to do just a one-way. I mean, it's something like 35,000 points, right? And if it's $50 difference on a flight between American Airlines and Delta, I would probably rather just fly Delta. So I have the apps for like Delta, American Airlines, all those, and I try to keep track of my points. But what I really want to get across to you guys is that you can begin to travel at rates that all of you can afford if you just do some of these simple things, right? Don't travel during peak season, travel in off-peak season. Begin to use Skyscanner so that you can plan your trips. I told you guys about Scott's Cheap Flights, right? The thing about that is that you got to have a little bit of disposable income, but that list is worth the $25 a year, because if you have the freedom and the flexibility and you see a ticket, like I just saw this, tickets to Peru for $400. So I didn't look at it because Peru's not on my itinerary anytime soon. But the idea that you could just take and buy that ticket today and be flying out to Peru maybe next weekend could be super attractive to some people. I love that. I love the idea that I can do that. They don't have an app yet, but I'm just using that as an example. So, and I'm going to do a whole thing on points and how to double and triple and quadruple dip on your points. That's coming down the road. And what I want to do real quick, are any of you guys using an app that I haven't mentioned? One that you've just found that really saves you a lot of time and money? If there is, just pop it up on the screen real quick before I hop off. Like I told you guys, I never want to go longer than 10 or 15 minutes, so I'm about to hop off here. But if anybody's using an app that they have really thought worked well for them and saved them money, go ahead and hop on here real quick and tell us. Just going to give it a minute, see if anybody has one. Okay, here's the apps I mentioned again. Skyscanner, download it. That thing is worth its weight in gold. Hopper is another one. Okay, Hopper's a great app. Airbnb, Uber, Road Trippers is the app that I want you to download today. I'm telling you, Road Trippers is really worth the money, and it's free. Use Hopper, yeah, to kind of plan out the flight costs, right? That's great. Okay, so go download those apps today. And listen, guys, here's what I want you to do. If you're finding any of this stuff helpful for you, that you're learning, do me a favor and share it. Tell your friends that here's this guy and he travels a lot and he's just offering free advice. He's trying to help people travel more often. Augustine said this. He said that the world is like a book and those who don't travel have only read a page of it. If you guys don't know who St. Augustine is, he's pretty awesome. Mark Twain talked about that the secret to defeating racism and bigotry and all of this kind of hate stuff that we see going on in our country right now is travel. Travel's the cure for all that. Because when I get into the weeds with people and I get to know the culture and I get to know the people, it doesn't change them, it changes me. It changes the way I perceive the world. It changes the way I perceive a group of people. And so it's really important to me. And like I was talking about the other day, I don't want to be old and look back at my life and regret that I didn't go places and didn't do great things and take my kids to have these wonderful experiences. I want to do those things now. And if we're going to do it now before we get older, we got to do it in a budget and we got to do it in a way that's affordable for all of us, right? So if you guys are liking this, I want you to share it, download those apps, comment, tell me what you guys think. We'll talk to you tomorrow.